Snoddy, this is going to be an epic. Honestly, an epic. I cannot wait. I've got one of your old managers. I've also got Harry Kane, Brendan Rodgers, Wayne Rooney, Jamie Carragher, Rafa Benitez, Unai Emery, Steven Gerrard, Sean Dyche, Jordan Henderson, your old manager, Steve Bruce, Harry Redknapp, Daniel Farke. I've got them all coming on here at one point today, mate. It's unbelievable. But
I'm excited, mate. I'm excited.
We need to get the main man in here. Here he comes, Darren Farley.
How are you, lads? You okay?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, mate. I'm great. It's as you can see, me hair's looking a bit dodgy. I'm desperate. How have you kept your hair so neat and tidy?
Mine's got moved. I moved mine for the back.
Mine's isn't it?
A few years ago.
Mine's isn't it? Mine's isn't the greatest either, mate. To be honest with you, but what me and Boydy are worried about is how you don't look stressed running America and that Donald Trump divot you've got in your head.
Honestly, it's unbelievable, to be honest with you. It is. It makes Trump look normal, doesn't it? To be fair, it does.
You'll not need to pay for the costumes to do your impressions.
I know.
Listen, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
We see the what you're doing, fantastic and everything, but who is Darren Farley? Who was he as a young kid growing up?
Massive football fan. Boydy, just a massive football fan. It's the reason I kind of got into doing what I did, because I didn't, to be honest with you, with impressions and that, there was never a massive interest in being an impressionist. It come about from footy, because I was constantly watching, like you lads, you're watching a football match of the day, you're just watching interviews after games, and I was obsessed with football. Like where I lived, I was known as the kid with the ball, because literally all I'd done was just play football. That's all I'd done. And if I weren't playing it, I'd be watching it, and I was obsessed with it. A big Liverpool fan growing up, and just in the city. And it's very similar in certain parts of Scotland as well. You get into a taxi. I go to Glasgow all the time. You talk football, Celtic or Rangers, that kind of thing. And it's like that here in the city, and just obsessed with footy, obsessed with football. Yeah, but it's it's just a massive football fan. My whole, upbringing, and I played like all right till I got to about 18, and then you're on the booze, aren't you? And then girls come into play and kids come into play, and yeah.
By the way, don't tell me you're one of these guys that's doing the pub saying if I didn't meet the old alcohol, I would have been a professional footballer.
Oh no, none of that. I was going to say that. You know what I mean? I did have to be honest with you, I was going to say that, but no, I'd have never made it. But I do always, to be honest with you, it's one of them regrets, because I played footy up to a reasonable level, not like you two, do you know what I mean? But I played in this city, football is just it's just what you do. It's an obsession.
Live and breathe it, didn't they? Liverpool.
Oh, honestly.
Who was your hero growing up?
Football wise, do you know what? To be honest with you, there was a few. I loved it. I'm a massive Liverpool fan, but I had a variation of footballers I loved. To be honest with you, obviously you've got your usual suspects with Liverpool, of course. The likes of Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher. Growing up watching, fantastic players. But I'll be totally honest with you. I loved Roy Keane as a player. I was a massive fan of Roy Keane. I was a massive fan of Alan Shearer growing up. It was different for me. Do you know what I mean? I had you can have your own heroes for clubs and that, but I looked up to many a player. There was a lot of players that that stood out for me, and Keane would be up there definitely. It's mad coming from a Liverpool fan. I know that.
But say that'll go down well with all the Liverpool fans.
No, but do you know what? I'm a football fan. And that's how. To be honest with you, I just loved football. But from a Liverpool perspective, it would be the usual suspects. I mean, Steven Gerrard was unbelievable. He was just unbelievable. And I started going to match when he come on the scene, really. So he come on the scene in 90, 98, 99. And that's when I started following Liverpool and watching his developments as a player and how good he became, and it was unbelievable. Yeah.
You ever met Gerrard? Have you ever came? Obviously, you do his impression and stuff, but have you ever met him?
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times. Yeah, he's quite a quiet fella, to be fair. I think he's quieter around me. Because he's probably scared, to be honest with you.
He's not giving you any ammunition.
Yeah, no, I've met him a couple. I've met him a couple of times, to be fair, but you do. To be honest with you, it's one of them with the impressions and that. I mean, I've done events in the past, and you do come across a lot of people that you do. Do you know what I mean? Like Brendan Rodgers, Harry Redknapp, Roy Hodgson. Do you know what? To be fair, they all take it well. They're all great. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm sure behind closed doors, they're all like, you know, they probably give it a bit of that. But they take it well. It's not. I always say this, you know, because like it's not personal. Do you know what I mean? Like at all. Like every single character I do, there's nothing personal at all. It's just like. It's a love of football and a love of like taking people off, but there's nothing personal. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure some of them probably maybe could get upset by it, but there's nothing personal.
Yeah, that's the whole point of impressions, isn't it? It's the banner. It's another way, you know. I don't if people doing impressions of me or different things. I love all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's great. But what is a in the everyday life for DARREN Farley? Is it constantly on the phone trying to do events and stuff? What is it?
Yeah, it's a mix, to be honest with you, Snoddy. To be honest, now, early on, when I first started, it's a lot of social media. So a lot of it's like, uploading videos to Twitter or Facebook, and that's like how you get yourself out there, really. I didn't know too much about that early on, because it wasn't like, I didn't do Facebook, and I didn't do, personally, I still don't. It's just like to do with the content that I do. So it's quite private like that, do you know what I mean? So that was early on, it was a bit weird for me to be putting stuff out, but if you want to get out there, that's what you've got to do. And then you start getting
that's a great platform for you then, isn't it? Because if that wasn't out there, it'd been hard for yourself to kind of get out there, you know what I mean? We've all got that one mate boy, didn't we? We sit in the boozer, he's amazing at impressions. I've got a mate of mine, he done some work for Boydy's charity. He ran a marathon, Scott McLaughlin. Does some of the best voices, and it was my stag do, and last summer, I swear to God, mate, if you get it right, it's amazing. It's the best feeling ever when you've got somebody that can do impressions, and he did it all the way through New York, and it was amazing. Everybody's going to do Tyson Fury. Do you know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
Do Mike Tyson, like just different things when you think to yourself, like it's incredible. Do you know what I mean? So how is it for you? Do you get it all the time?
Yeah, you know what? It depends where you're at. So if you go to match, for instance, like if you go to match and watch Liverpool or whatever, you would get it. If you went out for a couple of drinks and maybe in town, in this city, you will get recognised. But it's even now in the likes of Glasgow. If you go to Glasgow, I can't believe how much you get recognised there because of like the Gerrard stuff, the Brendan Rodgers stuff. Newcastle, you'll get recognised because of like Steve Bruce or Rafa Benitez or whatever.
By the way, watch what you're saying in here with Steve Bruce. That's his adopted son to the.
Oh, listen. Do you know what? Right, we touched on before characters I do. I met Steve Bruce and like one of the nicest fellas, mate. And you'll testify to that. Snoddy. Like what a nice guy. What a nice guy. And he took it really well. I think were you there, Snoddy, at Villa? Did you?
Yeah, when you dressed up.
Yeah. Do you remember?
When you came in, when you did the bit, I remember it. You dressed up as a gaffer. To be fair, like he loves all that, loves the crack, loves the banter. Like, that's what I said to you. It's if I was gaffer, I'd love all that. Do you know what I mean? I'd have somebody out, and we used to have. Do you remember Bill Blood, the Chelsea physio Boydy?
Yeah.
So when you've got somebody in amongst the dressing room and all that stuff, I think it takes the pressure off. I would love all that. Do you know what I mean? And one thing I've always tried to do is, you just want to make people laugh. That's what it's all about, So I don't know how would anybody just, how would you feel that taking offence? I don't see why.
Yeah, that's it. And you know what, like that's why I always try and put it across. Because when I do Steve Bruce, for instance, that's a great example. That you touch on like the kebab incident, a little different. Like what a nice fella. Like I love him. I just want him to do well. Do you know what I mean? At Newcastle, it's. Sometimes you think to yourself, I hope they don't take offence, especially the likes of Steve Bruce or certain people that you do, because you're like, I've got a lot of time for him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's such a nice. He was great that day at Villa. He took it really well, and he was just a brilliant fella. And I made up the job he's done at Newcastle because you know what, he got a lot of stick when he was difficult circumstances, and he's done brilliant, hasn't he? Good on him.
See, Darren, see in terms of like yourself, what's a normal week for yourself, like, with work and the hours it has to go in, the dedication to get to the level you've got to?
Yeah, do you know what? I'll be honest with you, right? This situation we're in now has benefited me massively, in terms of like the amount of time that you've got to kind of, because a lot of the time we've got use of a studio. So what I'll do, I'll go and, film a bit of content, maybe once or twice a week, depending on what's going on in football. And then, if you've got a gig, you can be quite busy with gigs, Friday or Saturday, that'll take your weekend up kind of thing. But now with this, I found myself, I've created like a little studio at home. I've been forced into it, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So I've created one, and I found myself just practicing and being creative. Do you know what I mean? So you can't have forced into it.
So what we're saying is no one is safe at this moment in time.
No,
if you've been practicing, no one's safe.
No one's safe. I've got, 30 footballers and managers who hate me, and there'll be 100 soon.
Well, Dan, obviously you've touched on it. You're a big football fan, but who was your comedy influences growing up? How did you get involved with it?
You know what? It's funny, like in terms of what I did, I didn't really watch much. I didn't really I seen like bits of in the past of like impressionists. Like I think Alistair McGowan was the big one back in the day, and he done a football video years ago called Football Back Chat, and I got it on video for Christmas, and it was brilliant at the time. But there wasn't really many on TV. There was a time where like impressionists just kind of like disappeared, and you'd only see bits of it, and then it kind of just it almost went out of fashion in a way. That's how it feels. And then when I started doing it, a few more came on the scene kind of thing. But in terms of comedy, there wasn't anyone in terms of an impressionist that I looked at and thought, because it wasn't. I think I touched on it with you before, lads. It wasn't something that I sat down and thought to myself, I want to be an impressionist when I grow up, kind of thing. There was never that. To be fair, it just it was a natural thing, because people will go, how do you know you can do impressions? And it's something inside. It's just something inside your head. I can't explain it. It's just like you've got an interest in people and the way people act and the way they move, the way they speak. And because I watch football so much, the two of them kind of came together. Do you know what I mean? It's
So who was the first one that you started working on, or did it just come natural?
The first one, the reason it came about was it was the treble season when Liverpool, under Gerrard Houllier, Liverpool won 3 trophies. And the first one, I think, was Michael Owen, right? And Michael Owen was like one of the main big players in the world at the time. When he come on, and he had such a different voice. He come on, I think I remember sitting there with like a couple of my cousins, and he came on, and then like after he started speaking, I just started doing Michael Owen. I think I just started going like, what I think is a very good player scoring goals. I mean, what a great player, really good. I mean, he can score great goals. I mean, if Liverpool do score 2 goals and Man United score 1 goal, I think Liverpool win the game. A very good game, a really good. And then from that, from that, though, my 2 cousins, right, who were the 2 of the most they were 2 of the most miserable fellas you'll ever meet, and the 2 of them were laughing their heads off, like. So from that, I was just thinking. And then I started doing Gerrard, and then when Rafa came a couple of years later, when I done Rafa, that was the one that got me mates going, you need to do this, you need to do something with this, because it was. So
Dan, was it more a friend pushing you towards to try and pursue something with it?
Yeah, because it was almost like a thing in the pub. So we'd go out here, and we'd go and watch the match. Me and like 3 of my mates, we'd either go the match, and then we'd go to the pub after it. And they'd have me doing it. They'd go listen to him. And in the end, there'd be like a group of people around me. And I'd just be doing Rafa Benitez, Steven Gerrard and Carragher. So a lot of people would have known me as this chubby kid who just pops in the pub after the game doing Spanish impressions of Rafa Benitez. But it was...
There's Rafa coming.
Have you heard this? And that's what it was. And then it was a total fluke. Because basically my mate, he wanted to show. He worked for his dad in a shop, and he basically turned around to me one day. And he went in for some milk and some sugar. That's all I went in for, and it came out a YouTube sensation. That's what my mum always. That's my mum's line. That's my mum's line. And I actually walked out the shop without the gear I went in for. That's what's mad. Yeah, so what he done, he said, look, I want to show me missus, your impressions. He's a big Liverpool fan. So he just filmed me in the shop. You've got like customers coming into the shop, just like going, what's going on? I've got like the beans and the spaghetti behind me. And I just started doing impressions. And then he rang me about a week later and said, look, he said, I put that video onto YouTube. And I was like, watch YouTube. I didn't even know what it was. I had no clue. It was like new at the time. And he said, it's had 1 million views, which at the time, apparently, was like it was a big thing. And he said, look, Sky Sports have been in touch and like Liverpool Football Club have been in touch. It was called, I thought it was a bit of a wind-up. And then I went online and seen that it had done really well. And that's how it started with me. And probably about 3 years after that, about 2012 or something like that, I got approached by like a management company who said, look, you need to do this. You need to do this properly. I was still doing little like charity gigs and little things like that. And they said, look, we'll get a camera, we'll basically, start filming you, we'll put stuff online. And that was it. That was it. From that, it just took off. I put more time into it then, you know what I mean? Like, whereas at the time, it wasn't something that I took serious, but you see how much people enjoyed it. And I couldn't believe that. I could never understand. Like, I was like, wow, people really enjoy.
What did you work as then? What were you doing work-wise?
I was a gardener. Like a landscape gardener. So I worked for like the council, like Liverpool Council, doing like parks and gardens and stuff like that. Very different. I still obviously do my own garden now.
Well, Darren, Kenny Dalglish, the King, he's a lot of Liverpool fans' his hero. Have you ever met him and tried to do his impression?
Oh, I've met him loads. He's like, we were touching on before, like the people that you meet, and like Kenny Dalglish, what a guy. He's actually like, I remember he actually rang me phone to invite me to an event he wanted me to do a little bit, and I was just like, when you pick the phone up though, like a Liverpool fan, and like Dalglish has rang, you probably have moments like that yourself, and you're going, like, that's Kenny Dalglish, you're just like, it's unbelievable. He always says to me, like, why don't you do me? Why don't you do me? He always says it, like, do me. He almost took offence that I've not done him. He's desperate for me to do him. I don't know why I keep saying he's desperate for me to do him. Doesn't sound right.
See that, Dan? See, touching on when the phone goes and you speak and you go, Kenny Dalglish.
Yeah.
I organised, my mate down here in London, right? I organised them to go to Scotland for New Year in Marhall, Boydy. And I got him to get to Marhall, and it was surreal, he's not a football fan. He owns the local cafe in the corner. So he goes up there with his family. And I just thought he was going to FaceTime me, and it was just going to be, thanks very much for this or whatever, Kenny Dalglish has come on the FaceTime. And I'm like, that way I'm just sitting there going, it's Kenny Dalglish. And he's like, Snoddy, how you doing? And I'm like, how you doing, Kenny? As if I went to school with him, do you know what I mean? I'm like, how you doing, Kenny? And he's like, he goes, so I'm like laughing and all that, and he goes, have you had your teeth done the same as Bobby Firmino? That's what he said. And now every time I get in the cafe, there's a selling top there signed with Kenny Dalglish. He went and gave me his top and all that. What a legend,
You can't.
Is your old teeth beside them as well? Darren, what does Kenny Dalglish mean to Liverpool as a city and the fans?
Oh, mate, there's no words for it, really. There's no words for it. He's you can't find the words sometimes. You're there, don't you? The usual, the legend status and stuff like that. But he's just like the man. He is just like a proper icon, loved, respected by everyone. And when you meet him, you already know that, but you meet a lot of people, you know what I mean, with that tag, and then you meet him and you just go, you can't quite believe it's Kenny Dalglish, because he's such a normal fella. Do you know what I mean? He really is, though, just a no. And you're sitting there, like I was at this event he invited me to. You're sitting with him at a table and you're just pinching yourself, going like, how have I ended up here? You know what I mean? How am I sitting here with him, just having a chat? You kept forgetting it's King Kenny, because the way he is, he's just so like he's just such a normal fella, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
I thought you were Steven Gerrard that night.
He did, yeah. He probably did, to be fair. Yeah.
see what he's done. Boydy says about what he's done for Liverpool, but the biggest thing is what and I'll play with Aaron Creswell and what it means to, the Hillsborough disaster, what it means to the Liverpool people, and what he done. I think it touched, everybody's heart. They knew how good a player it was, but as a man, it just showed you, the levels he went to for the families, the affected families, and just Liverpool as a city.
Unbelievable, mate. Honestly, unbelievable. Like he just, there's two sides to it, like you say. I mean, as the manager, as the player, but as the person as well. The work he done and continues to do, really, is just like I think it took a lot out of him, to be fair, as well. It did at the time, because he was emotionally so involved with the families. You know what I mean? He was like he was so involved in keeping in touch with people, and just the work he's continued to do. But again, that's just a testament to what a person he is. Do you know what I mean? And you've got that great player, great manager, but what a guy as well. And you spot on the work he's done with Hillsborough. It's why he's just like, there's no word for him. There is no word for him. He's just such an incredible man. You know what I mean?
I think see Scousers and Glaswegians, I think they're so similar. Every Scouser I've played with
100%.
so well. Like, it's just after, as if you've known them your full life, and they're so friendly. And I think it's I think that's probably another one where, he's just like one of them, you know what I mean? Like, very down to earth, hard working, come from a working class, that sort of great upbringing. I think Scousers and Glaswegians are exactly the same.
100%, mate. I've said that honestly, and like people always ask me, where's your favourite place to go? And it's Glasgow. It is. I've always said it, and the reason being, it's a home from home. It's not just with the foot, the people, the sense of humour, the live for the day mentality, and just the generosity. Really, I've seen it like so much when I've been down. But you are spot on it. Kenny is a great example of like how it works, and a bit vice versa now with Gerrard at Rangers as well. Do you know what I mean? Because he'll get the city. He obviously played under a lot of pressure, just like the scrutiny you're under. It's like a goldfish bowl in the pool. So he'll go down there and he'll be able to deal with that pressure. And it is so similar. The sense of humour, Snoddy, you were saying, mate, is like, absolutely. I absolutely love going down there. I really do. It's down there, up there. Sorry,
up there. Up there.
I always say that.
Who's your favourite? In fact, I'm going to ask you what before we get to the impression side of it. Has there been any gigs? Because I've been to events and some people have flopped on stage. Has there been any time where you've been up there and it's just not went for you at all? Nothing's gone for you. Without a doubt, it happens. You know what I mean? And like you'll know when you'll turn up. I think to an event, you walk in and go like, you get a feeling for it. You'll know. Yeah. Like literally, though, you could walk. I've been booked for events and I've walked in and I've just gone, this crowd they're not going to even get it. But you start off and say, have we got many football fans in here? And when you don't hear anyone say, yeah, you just know that it's game over. And like, you'll go and do like a dinner, the likes of yours, Boydie, your testimonial dinner. That's a football crowd. Do you know what I mean? So you've got a football crowd, and you know they're gonna get it, they're gonna understand. But there's been times where I've just been like, but you've got to get on with it. You'll go up even if after 10 minutes if you're struggling. You see people like start like go in the bog, go in the bar, and then like just talking to each other, and you're like, how alone do you feel when that's happening? How alone do you feel up there on that stage? And
I think, do you know what? Everyone's got a different approach, to be honest with you. Because I in a way, I'll be honest with you, I'll come home and I'll have a laugh about it with me mates. So you know what I mean. I don't really take anything personal. It depends on the person. Like you'll do videos and people will go, oh my God, it doesn't sound anything like him or whatever. But it depends on you as a person. But I've come from a background where everyone's been taking the piss out of me for years, just as a person.
Water off a duck's back.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I love it. But
who's your favourite player to manager to impressionate?
I love them all. Like there's no one really. You're always happy with a new character. As an impressionist, you're always happy with like a new character. You feel like you're always under pressure to do someone new. Do you know what I mean? So I always say like the newer characters you want to do, but I love when you'll get someone going, oh, I love you, Steven Gerrard, and then someone will go, oh, I love you, Brendan Rodgers, and then someone will say, I love you, Carlo Ancelotti, or I love you, Rafa Benitez. You want people to say different impressions because you don't want to be known for like, you know, the one or two. Even though I've got to say there is like, you've always got your top characters. You've always got like your ones who people like Gerrard's the most popular character without a doubt. Without a doubt, wherever you go, people just scream.
It's funny you say that because see when you're labelled when you say to Boydy, all you do is score goals. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? So Boydy goes, well, it's working. Do you know what I mean? So is that the way you feel? You say, well, are you? It's just trying to get. How do you go and say? Do you just play a tape of somebody or play a on the internet or whatever your phone and say I can do that voice, or is it something that you've got ticking in your head all the time?
Yeah, that's it. You know what? I find it really difficult to explain. You know, because you do hear other impressionists and you hear like them saying, "Oh, I'll just keep watching like interviews." Doesn't work like that with me. I'll watch it once, but I watch football all the time anyway. So you are watching these people, but you've just got to let it like swim in your head. You've got to walk away from it, and then all of a sudden, little bits of the character will start coming in. It's really weird. Really weird. That's the only way
you're working on new names. Have you got any plans to do Neil Lennon?
Defo. 100%. I've already ordered like 15 cans of red spray paint to just fall straight in the air. But no, what's massive, right, is the fact that like when Gerrard went to Rangers, it was like, oh my word, because Brendan Rodgers was the Celtic manager. So you had this like dynamic of these two managers, and I thought, look, at the time I thought Rodgers will be there for a long time to come. And I thought to myself, this is gold. The amount of like stuff you can do with this, because it was just Rangers and Celtic. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? And yeah, obviously Brendan ended up going, and then Neil Lennon's coming, but he's definitely someone I'll be able to do. But the difference is, what I've learned to do is not to jump to throw them out too quick. Do you know what I mean? So like you'll throw it out and you'll go, it needs work. You want to get it to a really good level and then put it out. Do you know what I mean? So he's definitely someone. He's another like another fella that I've met a few times, and another really good lad as well. So I'm sure he'll take it in good spirits.
I'm going to be honest. I love your Brendan Rodgers. I need to hear some of that.
Well, I'm very proud to be here. Very proud to be here. Certainly, it's a wonderful show. Some great characters, and certainly to learn. So, I'm very proud. And I'm looking forward to the return of the Premier League. It's really good. I think, the Champions League is going to be very good. It really is. We've got some wonderful young players who work very hard. And Peter Schmeichel's son, he's a wonderful young guy. Nowhere near as good as his dad, but I think we'll do well in the Champions League. I think we're going to do very well in the Champions League there, and because whenever I'm involved in the Champions League, there's lots of goals. There's always lots of goals. I mean, Barcelona scored 8 against me. The PSG scored 23 against me. So certainly to learn, we've got a very good record. Very proud to be here.
Brendan. Have you ever seen an impersonist doing called Darren Farley? What can you talk me through his Barnet right now, Brendan?
I've got to be fair. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I really haven't. I mean, I think if Donald Trump, was stuck in some kind of wind turbine, I think that would kind of cover it. But he's got a very big head, so certainly, the hair will suit him. But I've not got a lot of time for him because he takes the wee piss out of me there. So no.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Oh man!
Cheers, boys. Cheers.
He is the best man.
But I loved it. I love doing Brendan because he is a character. He talks differently. He's got a different way about him. And I know, like, he's been compared to the David Brent character a few times with like certain things he says. But I was saying before about like Steve Bruce. Like, I'm a massive fan of Brendan Rodgers. As a manager, like when he was at Liverpool, brilliant. But you create the character from what, like, you know, he's perceived as, if you know what I mean. So obviously you'll see people, you know, with the character, beautiful human being, and all those little things. You just take them up to a different level. You know, I think he's only ever said beautiful human being. Like, he's only said it about 300 times. But but what you do is you just take it. It's like Rooney. Like Rooney, if you watch Wayne Rooney, it's a name, you know what I mean? So now and then he'll do an interview, and the normal Rooney would be like, yeah, I think obviously it's a great couple of times where we got the ball, and that's a great example. We're scoring goals, and that's no, sorry, what was I talking about? Yeah, that's it. So Rooney's not, but when I do Rooney, you take it to a different level. So like, I'll go up and I'll literally, you know, if I'm doing him in stand up or you're doing a video, it's like, yeah, and think that obviously it's great to be at County Derby. When obviously it was very difficult in America, I found it very difficult to learn the language. That was very difficult, and then I decided to go to County Derby, and they offered me £50,000 a week and said, "Look, you need to double that and give me 25."
Well, I need to ask you about this.
That's brilliant. I'm sweating. That's amazing.
I'm sweating. Look at me wig.
Don't
you blow up? That'll come right up.
Steve, you've managed Snoddy. How good was he?
Well, you know, I've got to say, what a brilliant player. He was very good player. I always remember watching him play, and I thought, I tell you what, you know, he's definitely gonna do, you know, League Two quality without a doubt. I was very pleased. And a brilliant player, very good. You know, he's got a terrific left foot. I've got to say, really good. And no, he was a good player. He understood it. He was always very good coming off the bench. You know, he was. I remember he was substitute in a game, and I remember we were 1-0 down. And I looked over to the bench, I looked at him, and I thought to myself, and I said, "Snoddy, you're not coming on. Just tell one of the other substitutes." Very good, very good.
Steve, are you surprised that he's got to the level he's got to?
Well, you know, I've got to say, I'm not surprised, no, because he's got great ability. He was always very good. He knew how to deliver. He always did, and you know, I always told him he'd always do what I asked of him. If I said to him, you know, go and get me a doner kebab, you know, with some cheesy, he'd always deliver them. He was a great lad. He really was. Great player.
Gaffer.
Well,
listen, I just want to ask you about, you know, we're all in lockdown right now. We're trying to, you know, watch our weight right now, Boydy especially. When Alex, you used to stay with Alex and he hides the 16 chunk dairy milk and you find it behind the butter. What's your message to things like that right now in lockdown, especially Alex, when you're trying to go on a diet, you know?
Well, you know, it's not very good. You know, it's not very good. You've got to look after yourself. I've always, you know, told him about the dairy milks. You know, you don't hide the dairy milks behind the butter. That's not what you do. That's my hiding place.
No,
I
know
why he's taken that. You know, and that's you really got to look after yourself. No, look, I've told him, you know, in terms of healthy eating, you know, because he does need to watch himself, young Alex. He really does. And it's like myself, you know, if I go and get a doner kebab, of course, make sure, you know, if I have two and two cheesy chips, I make sure there's tomato and lettuce on it. You know, I really do. So it's all about healthy. But I've got to say, it's a joke.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant.
Well, there's one person I would not like to steal a doner kebab off of. It would be Dyche.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, if you did come and steal my kebab, I'd be absolutely fuming. I really would. I mean, you wouldn't get away with it. I mean, at Burnley, we can't even afford kebabs. We can't even afford them. You know, we eat wood, we eat nails, we eat glass. We've got no money for kebabs. We haven't, and that's the way we are. And tell you now, if you stole my kebab, oh, you'd be in big trouble, pal. You really would. You don't want to mess with me. Let me tell you that now.
I'm sorry. I won't do that again.
You better not, pal. You better not.
Well, before we, there's also a few. You know, I'm working with Sky, not at the level of Jamie Carragher, but how good have you got, Cara?
Well, look at the seeing both sides. Chelsea, the seeing both sides. I look at that. I look at the both sides go there. I was sent that. I see what you're talking about. I see both sides. I don't know that. What's up, sides? So I don't know. I'm just seeing something.
One other topic that is big news right now in England is where are you going to end up, Harry Kane? Where are you going to end up?
Oh yeah, obviously I think it's quite a difficult one. I think we've just got to get goals. That's the important thing. So yeah, obviously, we just need to. Sorry, what was the question? Yeah, obviously.
How big a privilege is it being the England captain?
Yeah, I mean it's good being England captain, and it's important that the other players will understand it. We've got some difficult games coming up as well. I think the Euros next year, we need to make sure that we avoid Argentina and Brazil. That's the important thing. But yeah, obviously that's it.
Yeah. Hey, Harry, what about we talk about talk to managers. When you were, coming through the youths, how good a manager was Harry Redknapp?
Yeah, he was a good manager. Do you want me to get Harry Redknapp on? He'll come and say something now. So
if you get him on.
Were you now? Yeah, lad, I think it was absolutely terrific. Yeah, lads, I think it was. Some of the players were absolutely fantastic. We had some terrific, but I think some of the players we had, I think, you look at the English players, the top players we had, you had Crouchy, Herman Ryderson, Nico Cranshaw, absolutely terrific English players, they were terrific. I think, listen, lads, now Scotland as well, there's some terrific teams. I think I've been offered a job. I've been offered a job at Aberdeen. I have. Yeah. They've offered me 300 grand. 300 grand. Yeah, signing on fee. After tax, 30 million quid. Well, absolutely terrific. Yeah.
Harry, first of all, how good a player was your son Jamie? And he's scared to go into the jungle because you won it.
Well, you listen, yeah, lads. I think he was a fantastic player. He was absolutely terrific. He was a player, but I've got to say, the only reason he ever came to the club as a manager was because Son told me to take him. He wasn't. There was better players. I got everywhere. I go, even the jungle. I nearly had to take him there with me. And I'll be honest with you, he was a good lad, but I always thought of Nico Cranshaw, as more of a son. I spent more time with him, I did. But Jamie was a good player in small doses. He was, but yeah, he's all right, on a small basis. But yeah, he maybe take him. I've got to say it. Tottenham, Southampton, Bournemouth. Yeah, it wasn't my idea. Yeah, let me tell you that.
Well, Rafa, it's rumoured that Newcastle might be getting bought over. Would that interest you going back there?
Yeah, I think always when you talk about this, I say that sometimes you talk about this. Yeah, I think always when you talk about this, I say that was a really good player, was really good, always try to be really good. So I think that Newcastle was a really good club for us. I had a lot of good players and had really good players that worked very hard. And you have to look at this. But I see Newcastle was a really, really good club. So I hope that the offer will come back. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
Darren, it's been brilliant having you on, but
Oh, mate.
The podcast, you know, it's to help a lot of people with that have been struggling with mental health issues. As well. What would your message be to anyone out there who is struggling with mental health?
Do you know what? I think to be honest with you, lads, I think we've all kind of we've all got. I've got like friends and family members who who've suffered with the mental health. So you do see it on a on an intimate basis at times. But to be honest with you, I've had people who've actually reached out to me. I've had people who've like sent messages and said like, look, your videos have cheered me up. I've not been doing too well with me mental health. And to be honest with you, it's lovely that it sometimes it helps people who are struggling. Sometimes it's definitely good to talk to people. I've had people obviously like reaching out, and you end up having a little chat with them, and it's important to look after yourself. And like I say, I've got people who are very close to me, and it is something that the awareness of it now. The likes of yourself, Boydy, with your charity, it's brilliant, mate, and it's good to talk. It's good to talk, yeah. And honestly, I even say it myself that there is people who have contacted me, and I end up having a chat. So if anyone ever wants to have a chat with me, honestly, my DMs are open to that 100%, because if you can help someone, have a little chat, or even through the guise of comedy, without a doubt, and be more than happy to help them.
It's interesting touching on it there, Dan, because the best form of trying to pick yourself up is laughter. If you can have a laugh and you've got a good sense of humour, Boydy, it's I think that's the best way, and that's why I've been brought up with a dad who he just tells me jokes constantly every time I'm in the house with him. He just doesn't he doesn't focus too much on the serious side of life, and he's my hero. Do you know what I mean? He's 75, and he's the guy that I look to just for just a normal chat. It doesn't need to be what base. Just how are you? How are you getting on? And my mum's exactly the same. She's been laughing at his jokes, mate, for 50 years, and it's like, and it's the same stuff. It's like maybe just get together with somebody and just have as you said there, your DMs are open. That's brilliant. That's the best message, because you're opening your arms up to say it's fine. It's fine to no be all right. You know what I mean? So listen, mate. I've loved, as you can tell, I've loved every second having you there. That was brilliant. I think getting to know you instead of probably just seeing you as the YouTube sensation or the social media. You're just a normal lad like the rest is, trying to make a living, and it's been brilliant. But keep the laughter up. Keep doing what you're doing, because it's amazing, mate, and it's superb. And listen, when next time you go to a Liverpool game, make sure your mates don't run away and leave you.
I know. But you know what? Listen, thanks for having me on 100%. I've listened to a good few episodes, and what you lads are doing as well, you're helping a lot of people, because it is your mental health is massive now. There was a problem, and people had a problem talking about it, but we're in a different world now, 100%. But I mean what I'm saying there, lads. I mean, if anyone, because I've had a few people who have reached out to me, and it is so. Listen, if I've I haven't suffered with my mental health, to be honest with you, but I've got an awareness of the loved ones. I wouldn't, it's privacy sometimes. So I wouldn't say who they were, but I've seen it close up. Do you know what I mean? So I do understand a lot about it, and I know how important it is. So I do mean what I say there. If anyone ever wanted to get in touch with me, 100%, I'd be happy. And look, Snoddy, you touched on it there, mate, 1,000,000%. Laughter is such an important thing. It's massively important. You were saying about your mum and your dad, and I try and install that in my kids, to be honest with you. You get up, smile, put the music on. I've got that from my mum. My mum's just like, no matter. My mum's had a fair share of problems, right? But honestly, she's just the strength that you see like that. It goes into you. That's what you learn from, don't you? You learn from your parents.
Strong character. My mum's amazing as well.
Yeah,
but it's been fantastic having you on, Darren. Great message at the end there as well, and hopefully we'll see some new characters soon. The only thing, it better not be any of us.
Oh, listen, that's why I came on.
He's been studying us.
Thanks very much, lads. It's been great.
Thank you, mate.
Brilliant.
Thanks very
Thank
much.
you, Darren.
Thanks, cheers, mate.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Well, Snoddy, that was unbelievable. We did say when we started a number of weeks ago with John Terry, we're going to bring a bit of fun, the big names, the big stories, a mental health message as well. But this one was more about fun, and it must have been brilliant for you to speak to your old gaffer against Steve.
I've not recovered. I've not recovered. Had me in absolute stitches. I've not actually seen a lot of the ones that he's done there. I've seen a few, but some of them, he caught me off guard. I was absolutely gone. But to see my old gaffer on Zoom, it was incredible. But you hit the nail on the head, mate. What a laugh. What a brilliant. I hope everybody had such a good time as me. I'm still going right now. Listen, we do want to have a laugh. Got a serious side, but we really want you to, see the laughter side, because that's what we are. It's quite relaxed, and I fully enjoyed that tonight, Boydy. So listen, tune in. Got some crackers coming up again. I know we say it every week, but I think we're surprising ourselves, Boydy, with the big names that are coming on. And the best way to do that is subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Apple Podcast, our Podbean, and our Spotify account. I'm getting better at that. So listen, thanks very much. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you had a good time. So stay safe and tune in.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.